So I have an idea, actually.
Lay it on me.
Which is that, so there's a line in one of these texts from Kanye West that we are going to get into later in the episode, where he sends a provocative request, I would say.
There's many texts with him saying provocative requests.
This one is quite provocative. He sends a provocative text, and then he follows up with, just took the toxicities up a level, which is a great line.
Really good.
And I want to, in the spirit of taking the toxicities up a level, nationwide now, I'm kind of blowing this out, I think that we can do that. We could achieve that if we introduce Kanye to the sovereign citizens movement.
I love this idea, but I think that we need to take it a step further. So as you know, Kim Kardashian got her law degree, right? She passed the bar, whatever. She's a lawyer now, technically. Tutored by a very lovely woman who is the sister of an assembly member in California that I personally dislike named Matt Haney. Fuck you. And also fuck all your political allies. But anyways, your sister's beautiful. She's a lawyer now. I think that they should have custody battles where she represents herself and Kanye West is also allowed to represent himself.
As a sovereign citizen?
As a sovereign citizen in court.
Okay.
And may the best man win.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, but I genuinely do think that Kanye West, sovereign citizen, would go crazy.
I think so too, yeah.
Kanye, Goldbug arc. Kanye's gone blue from silver poisoning. Kanye has a micronation somewhere in the former Yugoslavia, maybe? Maybe Central America? I don't know what's up for grabs these days.
I think that he should join the Moorish Scientific, or I think the Moorish Science Temple of America.
Okay.
It's like it's much more complicated than this, but it's kind of like black sovereign citizens.
Interesting.
I feel like he should lead them.
So you're saying like we could have a like Kanye compound. Well, he kind of did the compound already, but we haven't had like a Kanye shootout moment, which I don't like because of violence.
Yeah. I don't think Kanye would be good at that.
It would definitely be television.
I think it would make for. I think a Kanye West standoff with the police would make for probably the best 48 hours of television in history.
Yeah. He could definitely rival an OJ. Like
he would put. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He would put OJ in. Leave him in the dust. OJ had no like. Here's the thing: for a guy nicknamed the Juice, OJ really didn't have a lot of juice himself.
I think he had lots of juice.
But he's not like. I don't think he is funny. He was funny. He's perished now. But yeah, I think Kanye, I think we could get some really good stuff out of Kanye if he had a stand-up. But I don't want that to happen to him.
No.
I don't know what I want to happen to Kanye.
Apparently he's in the Far East right now.
He's in the Orient. Oh, I've heard that. I've heard that
he's doing his Lydia Tarr thing.
I've heard that he's retreated to the Orient.
Yes.
Perhaps I could advise him on something.
Maybe you should go out there. Well, we will get to all of that later in the episode. Hello, everyone. I'm Liz.
My name is Brace, and we are, of course, joined by producer Young Chomsky.
Hello.
And the show's called TrueAnon. Hello.
Hello. So let's start this episode out with something a little different. Now, as many people know, we record this podcast out of a office building in
Midtown Manhattan.
Well, it's like imagine if like Midtown Manhattan was in Northern Virginia and the office building was mostly used for a government agency, but they did rent out some spaces WeWork style for very cheap. And in fact, they give us money to use it as long as they get to mess with our content a little bit.
Well, we use the tunnel system that goes from the NSA building in Midtown Manhattan straight to Langley.
And then also, of course, you can take it a little north.
That's how I get all my steps.
To Chabad. To Crown Heights. You don't feel comfortable commenting on that?
Look, it's not for me to say.
Why is that? But I was going through your phone earlier. I saw those memes.
Don't go through my phone.
Those
are my memes.
Dude, if you had a meme folder on your phone, I would straight up I would call the police and be like, she has a gun and she has a hostage.
I don't.
Come here.
It's not a meme folder.
No. Are you
but
serious?
I have an album.
Oh my God. This is genuinely changing the way I see you.
Wait, but I haven't added to it in a long time. Do you want to see which ones are there? I
Yeah.
will share. This is how much I love and trust you. Is that I'm also looking. I just realized I'm looking at my phone like an old person. Am I?
Because your purse is on your lap.
I'm
and
doing
you're-
this. I have
it's
the
like-
phone out and I'm making
At arm's length.
an angle with my face as if I can't see. Like I'm giving aunt right now.
I have a meme album.
Okay, you guys are fucking crazy. You guys have albums in your phone?
Yeah, look.
I have
It says
hella
reactions, memes, etc. I think it's pretty good though. Here, you can look. Wait, I don't think there's anything weird in here. Well, you can look.
Okay, what do we got here? We have Frank Card from House of Cards holding up a Joker's card to his face. We have a Trump. There's a lot of basketball
The
players.
Trump
it looks
is the
like
wax
here.
figure Trump.
Okay, these aren't memes though.
No, it's reactions. It
these.
says.
Yes, these are.
Etc.
You have this folder in here.
I haven't. I don't know because every
In
once
Africa,
in a
they
while,
call her Sister Hillary.
That's a classic.
Okay, let me just rewind to when I actually gave a fuck.
That's from the movie Click
I understand that.
with Adam Sandler.
Wow, these are crazy. this is really something else, Liz.
Wait. I don't
Okay,
know
here's some
what else-
selfies. I'm skipping by these. Skipping by these.
Can I have it back, please? Because I don't know
Okay,
what's in there.
here's the Reddit Wojak. Who are you putting these against?
I don't know.
You have so many You have a Bitcoin Wojak crying.
I think that was for. I sent that to you.
Who are you talking to that you send these to?
You.
You don't send me those.
This is
This
my
is from
favorite one.
2021.
Wow. Okay, these are all. You guys are crazy.
Come on, that's a face app smiley of Mayor Pete.
That is, yeah. I think so. I think it's very adorable, but I'm crazed out. That's not even a phrase, but that's from my phone. Yoda eating pussy. I sent you that.
I got a lot
man.
of Yoda sexual
I
style.
have every Yoda sexual thing, but the thing is, if I like a picture, I save it in my favorites. I don't like make a new.
Yeah, I have that too.
My
I
Danzig
think it's
dick
like
pic.
every once in a while I'm like, oh, I should organize things, and that's why you have the Alex Jones with the prayer hand.
See, I think
That's a classic.
I think this is what's rock and wrong with you guys' brains is that you think that because it exists, it has to be organized, but sometimes things can just be out there. It's like a landscape, and I feel like you should have to gallop across it if you need to find something. You should have to scroll back for years in order to find that one sweet, crazy picture.
That's most of the time for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very big folder.
Listen, before we get into what we're going to talk about that has to do with Langley, we have some business to take care of.
I have been fired from TrueAnon podcast.
Because he talked shit about my memes album.
I'm sorry, Liz. I didn't mean to talk. I wasn't talking. I was just making
I'm just
fun
kidding.
of you.
I know.
Did you read my text or something? Why are you saying? I'm just playing, baby. We have some business to take care of. We have launched it's sort of like a newsletter, but it's a little different because it's weekly and it is a newsletter.
It's a little bit like if there were an intersection between like art and technology.
We have launched a newsletter called Crackpots on our Patreon.
Yeah, you can subscribe at the link that we will post in the description. And every week, one of us will be sending you a note of sorts. Thoughts, musings, recommendations, readings, shit we're thinking about, shit we're not thinking about, shit you should be thinking about, but you aren't. Mm-hmm. Who knows what? Honestly, we have no idea what it will be. So come along with us.
Maybe I'll put my drawings up.
Maybe I'll post some fucking memes. Maybe you'll see my meme folder.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a great place for me to put those.
I would
Grace.
unsubscribe from
But
being
it's not
alive.
just us weekly. Then we're also going to be inviting guests, people that you may know and love from the show, people that maybe haven't been on the show, but maybe they should, and maybe people we don't want on the show, but we think would be great for the newsletter. But we're
Yeah.
not going to tell them which way we feel about them.
No, we're
'Cause that
not.
would be rude.
But yeah, so it's on our Patreon now.
Yes, and you can subscribe there.
When I do it, they should call it Crackhead.
Okay, so before we get to Diddy and Kanye, which we were talking about today at some point, I really, really quickly want to mention the story that Brace texted me because it's a great story, and I actually genuinely have questions about it. There's apparently a bunch of mystery drones that keep flying around U.S. air bases, and the Pentagon cannot figure out who is sending them.
Yeah, I mean, there was a big article in the Wall Street, not that big of an article, but a pretty big article, and they did the little like fancy thing that online newspaper things do now, where they have like they show you a picture and like the screen changes.
Yeah.
I don't really like when they do that. I feel like they're just taking up
All
space.
they're doing is saying, "Oh, look, we spent a little bit more time on this one."
We did a little different with this news story.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, some of us, you should give the paper reader something too. Not that I read the Wall Street Journal paper, but there have been fleets of UAVs, unidentified aerial vehicles, in the skies.
Not alien style, like Amazon style.
Amazon style, in the skies over sensitive military installations.
Yeah. The first time was literally over the Pentagon. And I don't understand. There's all these lines in the piece. They're like, the show usually starts for 45 minutes to an hour after sunset. The drones headed south across the Chesapeake Bay towards Norfolk, Virginia, and over an area that includes the home base for the Navy's SEAL Team 6 and Naval Station Norfolk, the world's largest naval port. Then they obviously, in the article, they're like, well, it's probably from China. Actually, it's probably from Russia. But it's really clear they have absolutely zero idea what's going on. And the drones are flying in a pattern that suggests that it's very coordinated. I mean, it has to be obviously pretty decently coordinated just because it's a drone, right? But it's like they're flying in like aircraft patterns. I don't know.
Well, it's like it's weird because the way I picture it, because they keep saying it's like two big ass drones.
Yeah, you got the two big guys.
And then like a fleet of smaller ones sort of like
Yes.
flocking around them.
Yeah.
And they don't know. They keep being like, well, it could be hobbyists. Like they can't rule that out.
Yes.
Especially after the balloon fiasco when they thought all these like hobbyist balloons were like.
Don't get me started on the balloons.
You don't like balloons
I don't want to talk about the balloons.
because it hurts you.
I'm not fucking talking about the balloons. The
They
Chinese
should make,
balloon.
They should make
Remember
it
the
3
Chinese
about
balloons?
you. They should make it 3 about the Chinese balloons. But they're like, it could be hobbyists, but we don't think so. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like it could be hobbyists.
I mean, I think there's all sorts of hobbyists, including military hobbyists.
Well, I just don't understand. Like, I guess I don't know how satellites work. Because I'm like, couldn't you just look from the space of up there?
I mean, they can see the drones. It's not like they're not having a problem seeing them.
No.
But they don't know
mean
where
that.
they're coming from.
I don't mean that, like, to see the drones. I'm like, if, like, the Chinese wanted to look at, like, a fucking naval
Oh.
base, couldn't they look from space?
I don't think that they have satellites over the Pentagon.
Yeah, but the Earth rotates. I don't know. They should put a base on the moon.
So I think that a bunch of people are like, well, why don't you just shoot down the drones? And they can't because
Yes.
apparently it's illegal.
Because this country's overregulated.
Federal law prohibits shooting down drones near military bases in the U.S., which is probably is a good idea in general, but also is kind of like one of those funny things that you could see
Yeah.
clear blowback
Yeah.
coming. They still have no idea. They were like, okay, we can't shoot them down, so maybe we can use directed energy weapons, which they admit is an emerging technology, but they want to use a direct energy weapon to disable the drones
Yes.
over the Pentagon. That was deemed to be too risky because of all the air travel during the season.
Well, yeah, and it's also because all the DEWs they used are pointed currently at people who are being gang stalked, like myself.
Yeah. So I guess like there was a lull and then a bunch more have showed up. It also at like Edwards Air Force Base, just, outside of LA, which is, for close listeners of the podcast, on the opposite side of the country as the Pentagon.
Yeah.
So also weird. Here's why I'm bringing this up. We have a lot of high-level military and intelligence operators listening, subscribers. Hello. Do you know what's going on? I want you guys to call the TrueAnon tip line.
I want our highest ranking military personnel who listens. Do you think we got a colonel who listens to this?
Do they still make colonels?
Yeah, they make colonels.
I don't know what the U.S. makes anymore.
That's so true. I mean, because of DEI, there's probably more colonels than ever.
And, offshoring.
I want our highest ranking military officer who listens to the show to call our tip line and to tell us what is in this nation's skies.
And also, if you don't work in the military, but somehow you know, because maybe it's like your boy who's doing this, also hit the tip line. I'm going to say the number. It is 646-801-1129. And we should just say we have a tip line episode coming up soonish that we're very excited about. And because we love doing the tip line episodes. If you haven't listened, check those out. If you have other tips that have nothing to do with this, but are, we love political gossip. We love romantic questions.
We love a lot of gossip. Really.
We get a lot of gossip. But, you got leads. You have weird local stories. I love a weird local story.
We've had quite a few of those.
Does your mayor stink? Most likely, because you got one. Hit the tip line.
Hit the tip line. And you know what? Highest ranking American military personnel call us up. But how about this? Highest ranking foreign military personnel call us up. Yeah. If you're like in the Montenegrin National Guard or whatever.
First of all, what's your day like?
Civil defense from Monaco.
What are you doing there?
The gendarme in Luxembourg.
Yeah, you're protecting F1 bank accounts.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, if you work for the IRS, hit us up.
Yeah.
Because I'll surrender peacefully. But this is what I don't understand. That would get me started on the IRS.
So one last time, the phone number is 646-801-1129. And that is Brace's personal number. So
that
feel
is my
free
cell phone number. Call it up.
Call it up.
I will pick up.
But don't text.
Don't text me.
Because he won't respond.
And you know what? This is not even going to be a smooth transition because I have to complain about something really quick. One of the most hated days of the year is my birthday. Not because it's my birthday.
What are you talking about? You love your birthday.
I'm okay with my birthday. I like my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people who's like, I hate my birthday. But I don't,
Yeah.
I don't make a huge
little
deal
ambivalent.
about it. A little ambivalent. But I hate getting all the texts being like, happy birthday. Am I supposed to respond to those?
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, you just
But then
do
I'm
it.
just saying thanks a million times. I spend half the day, thanks, dude. And I feel like I have to give each one person a different thanks.
Yeah, because because you're like, oh, they'll know that this is just a repeat thanks.
This is a repeat thanks.
They're not going to know it's a repeat thanks.
And they're not going to know it's a repeat thanks.
No.
They're not going to know it's a repeat
Thanks.
Thanks. Oh, thanks. Thank you. You too. That's me being funny. You too. Thank you. Oh, you shouldn't have.
It's
not really my birthday.
No,
I'm actually 14.
that's right about then is when you put the gun in your mouth.
The gun is in my mouth the whole day. I'm sucking on
Just
that
so
thing.
you
like
remember you're alive.
It wanted me.
Okay.
Wanted me down.
Beep. Real episode starting now. We did an episode on Diddy, the diddler,
Puff Daddy.
back in March. I think it was March. The spring.
Several seasons ago.
That was an upsetting episode.
It's gross.
Yeah, the details of that man are very upsetting. But we will put the link to it in the show notes. You can check it out there. He has since been arrested by the feds, which was not really his... In the spring when we did that episode, we were really kind of focusing on... Like, none of the federal stuff... It was kind of looming as a rumor because his properties had been raided by DHS. But there were some sort of like things online that were like, oh, we think the feds are looking at it. People have been saying that about Diddy for a long time. But we were really focusing on the civil case filed by Rodney Jones. And then, of course, also the case that he settled with Cassie, which is very upsetting.
And that was like a period of time when there was just like a new lawsuit coming out like once a week. And they haven't stopped coming.
Yeah. So 3 weeks ago, however, things changed. Diddy was arrested in New York City following a grand jury indictment hit with sex trafficking and racketeering charges. The feds alleging that P. Diddy, a.k.a. Love, a.k.a. Brother Love, remember? Was the head of a criminal enterprise. There's like insane parallels to Epstein here. Down to basically 0 people are defending him. And like everyone is admitting publicly that this was an open secret in the industry for decades.
Yeah, I mean, the things that he is accused of doing, not just in the indictment, but in those lawsuits and like in all the rumors going around online, of which there are many.
A lot of great TikToks out there.
I guess my question is, like, if he was this huge monster, how come you guys were all still hanging out with him all of the time, going to his fucking parties, kicking it with him, covering for him, working with him this entire time if everybody knew he was such a monster?
Yeah.
Everyone is fucking running, scurrying like rats off a fucking sinking ship right now.
Yeah.
But it's like you hung out with Brother Love, a.k.a. Diddy, until very, very recently.
Yes.
What's up with that?
I mean, some uncomfortable conversations need to be had. Some of our faves shall and will be implicated. As, what's her fucking face? Pelosi. Christine Pelosi? Famously said about Epstein. So Diddy faces life in prison. That man is gonna himself faux show. I'm gonna read from just the indictment here. For decades, Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, the defendant, abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. Whew.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, and that's from the feds. I mean, it's kind of crazy because we spent, as we will get into this, the second half of this episode, and we spent previously with the Puff Daddy stuff in civil lawsuits. So seeing this laid out from the feds is like a totally different level.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big step up from like he had sex with Meek Mill or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he's facing, the rest of his life in prison.
So it portrays the business of Diddy, the Combs enterprise, as a global media and entertainment industry staffed up with sycophants, enablers, whose sole purpose was, and this is quoting them, enhancing the power of Diddy through violence and verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. I mean, they really it is like mob shit that they're painting, which is not that weird to hear in conjunction with Puffy. I mean, there's long been rumors about all of that and like how he even got his start. That's like a totally different episode. But there's a real emphasis from the feds on like demanding loyalty, blackmail, and coercion.
I think there's also there's been a huge surge in like RICO cases against like rappers, and a lot of them are pretty like it's been pretty clear that like the government are certainly, especially certain very assertive DAs in different parts of the country, like Atlanta, are like dead set on like, this is how we get black people now. This is like, he is running a mob. Like this is like a different thing. This isn't like they're accusing his like music label of being like a gang or whatever. Like like he was running this shit like the fucking like a insane fucking orgy mafia.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And I think obviously a major part of this that's all over the news. We've talked about it before. Were the freak offs.
Yeah.
It's like they're so disturbing that I feel bad, but it's saying freak offs with a straight face is real tough.
It's really crazy. You want me to read this out right here?
Yeah.
Members of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other business employees, facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms, stocking the hotel rooms with the required freak-off supplies.
I'm sorry, saying freak-off supplies is just, it's tough.
Stocking the hotel rooms with the required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. Cleaning the rooms for after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage. Arranging for travel for commercial sex workers and Combs to and from the freak-offs. Resupplying Combs with requested supplies. Delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial sex workers. And scheduling the delivery of IV fluids.
Yeah, so this was followed with, there's like major headlines about this, that when the feds raided, they seized 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Which is like a sex prepper kind of thing. Like, I'm just imagining him having in his compound like one of those, like, you ever see the Instagram like prepper influencers? But not the dudes, the women who have the like you go and they've got the crazy. It's like somewhere between hoarders and like organizing porn, but they have the like crazy like container store shelves with like thousands of cans of soup and all
Yeah.
this shit. I'm just imagining him with that, but
Well,
for like
his-
sex parties.
His lawyer tried to come out and be like, "Oh, he just has the baby oil because he's like near Costco." My thing
near
is this.
Costco.
My thing is this.
Who is it
He's
near
like
Costco?
buying in bulk. Here's my thing. I don't want a response from you. I don't need a response from you on this. What are you guys getting all wet for during sex? Like, I don't understand. Like, I just gotta get this off my chest right here. Like, I'm 35 years old.
You love saying
I
that.
made a lot of love. That's the first time I said it. It's the first time I've said it. I've been 35 for 2 days. I'm 35 years old. I've had sex once or twice in my life. Never was there a period in that sex. I guess if anal sex, but like
Jesus Christ.
Well, I guess you need it for that. No, I guess you need it for that. But I'm like, they're not all doing that, right? At the freak out. Who knows what they're doing at the freak out? I'm just saying that much baby oil. Baby oil?
Yeah, that's weird.
There's no oils in my life. No seed oils. No baby oils. See, I don't use baby oil. I use I use ghee and
Coconut oil.
and coconut oil, like Last Tango in Paris.
All right. Well, back to this. The feds also seized a bunch of AR-15s that had scratched off serial numbers. Which,
You get those at Costco.
yeah, I got them at Costco. And 100 electronic devices with several terabytes of material, including photos and videos of the freak-offs.
So this was what was really interesting
Yes.
to me because remember from the Epstein case and from the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, there was that big ass box of fucking hard drives.
Yes.
Right? And there was the CD case with like DVDs labeled with people's names.
Yes.
Are we going to see any of this stuff?
Maybe. I mean, the trial is scheduled for May.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be quite high profile.
We should go.
I do think that there's some stuff that we probably won't see. I think a lot of people will probably be thinking that like maybe Usher's going to testify, maybe Beaver's going to. That reminds me a lot of like the Epstein of the Ghislaine trial,
Yeah.
where people were like, "Oh my God, are they going to call Bill Clinton?" It's like,
Yeah.
no.
No, I don't think they are.
But I do think that because this is a RICO case, the feds are going to try and get a lot of the staff to turn and testify against Diddy, which I think they already have. And I can't remember if we covered this back in March, but during one of the DHS raids in Miami, they arrested this kid. I mean, he's not a kid. He's like in his 20s. Brendan Paul, who they say was Diddy's alleged drug mule. Mm-hmm. He was actually named in Rodney Jones' civil suit, and Rodney said that he moved drugs and guns for Diddy. There's long been rumors about Diddy basically being like a big weapons dealer. Like,
Wow.
That's been like rumors since he was like dating J-Lo, for sure. But
Didn't she move a weapon for him?
well, yeah, I mean that's also the story. When they arrested Brendan Paul, they found cocaine and weed candy on him. He was like a former like Syracuse basketball player. I really like don't know how he got mixed up with Diddy. He's just like looks like an unassuming white kid. Like it's very weird. But
Probably
he struck a
something-
deal with the feds in May and is now just going into a drug diversion program. 0 charges filed.
Okay.
So
yeah,
his ass
he's-
is going to be on the stand.
He
in
has
come May.
flipped. He
Yeah.
has flipped.
Now, Diddy is currently hanging out in our old fave, the MDC, Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. The old famed MDC, where Ghislaine Maxwell herself hung out. And he is apparently in the same unit as Sam Bankman-Fried, which is kind of crazy. He has, just because I have to report on, this is like taking me back to when we would report on Ghislaine and Epstein stuff. Apparently Diddy is very upset about the food at the MDC, and his lawyer has decided on the bold strategy of comparing him to Martin Luther King Jr., which I think
I feel
is,
like Ghislaine's lawyers kind of did that too.
Yeah. His lawyer was like, the more you push a person down, the stronger they become.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
In reference to Diddy and I guess the food situation at the MDC, which I did look into, and apparently they have chicken fajitas and roast beef, so I think that it's fine.
I bet that it sucks.
But people have noted from his court appearance that Puffy's like crazy skinny now.
So is SBF.
So maybe it is a food thing.
'Cause
Because they're not zembing up
No.
inside.
I mean, he's still he's not going to
You're getting contraband in the jail, but it's just a Ozempic.
Yeah. Smuggling in a syringe of Ozempic up your asshole. But I think that is true because Sam Bankman-Fried lost a bunch of weight. And like the crazy thing about that.
Isn't he vegan, fruitarian?
I think he's vegan. Yeah, he's
Plant-based.
vegan, right?
Yeah, he's got some whole thing.
And so that probably contributes to it too. But he was on so much speed that I'm surprised. Like he must. I mean, the food must be really bad. Is what I'm saying.
So again, just to compare this even more to Epstein, I do think that people are like coming out of the woodwork now with Diddy, where they're like saying either like, oh, we always knew he was bad. Like, this is a day of reckoning. This is a collective day of reckoning for the community. Like, or they'll come out and they're like, oh, I didn't know about it, but I had heard rumors, but I didn't really know about it and I didn't see anything. Or they'll come out and they're like, I didn't know anything, stop asking.
It's just it's a dark day in the white party community.
White part. Dude, this stuff was so out in the open.
Yeah.
Like there's like some, people are putting together really great fan cams of basically like all of the like talk show interviews that Diddy did from like basically 1998 through 2010, where he's just like bragging about shit.
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. But we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You're gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time. We need alcohols.
Right.
Alcohols.
Right. Not just one alcohol.
Alcohols.
Right. Just
Plurals.
different blend. You need the
Blends.
ladies, you need the booze.
You need some water.
For watering plants? What?
No, I don't know if guys have noticed this. Like, a lot of ladies drink water at parties. They
Right.
just, so if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Gotta
right.
keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
Yeah.
rock with me. But just check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects like, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat.
So we mentioned at the top of this that a bunch of lawsuits have been filed. Basically, since Cassie first filed her lawsuit last year, a ton more have filed, and all of these lawsuits are all, they have a kind of a range of allegations from assault, rape, gang rape, blackmail, sex trafficking, forced drug use, like you name it. It is like all in there, and it's not just against Diddy, but to some of his like associates, singer Aaron Hall, Bad Boy President Harv Pierre, Diddy's chief of staff. We talked about Cuba Gooding, Diddy's sons, Jacob the Jeweler, who I haven't thought about since like Pimp My Ride days, Jodeci member Devontae Swing. There's like one suit that names Jimmy Iovine, which I just want to call out because he is the head of Interscope Records and one of the most powerful men in the music industry. And one of the suits calls him out as specifically witnessing an assault and still moving forward with Diddy, and they're trying to kind of implicate him there. There's a Texas attorney named Tony Busby, which I don't want to say anything bad about names, but
Tony Busby.
my attorney's name is Tony Busby. My ass is going to jail. Like, just insert the meme there. I just
Yeah.
feel like that's like an
Take it from
unserious
your
name.
folder.
But he previously represented the victims of Astroworld, and he announced that he would be filing at least 120 individual civil suits against Diddy. He gave like a huge press release, and it said, the biggest secret in the entertainment industry that wasn't really a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world, which actually that's pretty on point.
Yeah.
He said that other big names, and there will be other big names in the suits filed, and that a bunch of celebrities not only already know they will be named, but some have already settled,
Oh, wow.
which is very interesting. I guess they opened up a hotline and they got like 12,000 calls. So it seems like this thing is just starting.
So there's another lawsuit that involves Diddy, to sort of get to at the end here. But it involves another rapper who we've covered on the show before, and who Liz takes a lot of political inspiration from, named Kanye West.
AKA Ye.
So I'm not going to make you read this, but I'm going to read
Yeah, you read it.
the starting
Because
text.
it was just your birthday.
This is a text.
Okay.
I want us to fuck, name withheld, on your birthday. Wait. I'm just typing whatever comes to my head, LOL.
The Kanye texts are incredible.
Yes, they're really something
They're really,
else.
really, really good.
They're really something else.
And it's unfortunate because it's coming from a lawsuit that is pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy. So back in June, a woman named Laura Pisciata filed a lawsuit against Kanye West, a.k.a. Ye, alleging breach of contract, wrongful termination, sexual harassment, quid pro quo, and hostile environment, unlawful retaliation, unjust enrichment, fraud, unpaid wages, battery, sexual assault, false imprisonment, and more. So the lawsuit was originally filed in June, and while it got some press, there wasn't like a ton of press
it was like
around it.
TMZ press.
Yeah, like there wasn't like a huge. It wasn't like the Diddy stuff.
No.
I mean, it's different than the Diddy stuff, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't
the
get
Diddy
nearly as
stuff
much
was
play.
like wow because of Meek Mill, but then also because the video of Cassie got leaked.
Yes. But now, as of October 8th, an addendum to the lawsuit has been filed, alleging sexual assaults by P. Diddy and Kanye West. Okay, so the lawsuit, it's about this new version is about 90 pages. I think it's like 86, 87 pages. It is really a fucking crazy document. And it has a lot of text from Kanye West in it. A lot. And a lot of pretty specific allegations, some kind of vague allegations here. But I will say, as somebody who, you know,
Look, we did a huge episode on Kanye.
Yeah.
Which again, we will link in the show notes.
if we remember.
We'll remember.
Well,
I will
sometimes.
remember.
You'll remember?
I will remember.
Okay, you'll remember.
Well, someone's got to remember. It'll be there. You should check it out. It's 3 hours long. We go into depth about Kanye West.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot in here that it feels like primary documents.
It really does.
And I do love primary documents.
So Lauren had originally met Kanye West kind of a long time ago. It seems like maybe sometime back around 2014, 2015, back when Lauren was managing an artist named Nikki Heaton. So we'll get a little bit into what went down there later, but that's a pretty important fact here. It's unclear, like I can't actually really figure out what Lauren's job has been this whole time. Like, she's a pretty popular Instagram model. She has like 1 million followers on Instagram. She's kind of like she is a sexy lady. She had an OnlyFans that the lawsuit alleges was bringing in, I don't know if that's the right word to use there. The lawsuit claims that was bringing in like $1 million a year. And I will say, now that I said alleges, this sets off my memory. Everything in this is alleged.
Yes.
Everything we're about to say right now is alleged.
We haven't done that in a while. We're not alleging it. Someone else has alleged it, and we are just reporting on those allegements.
So I want to say that from right here, if we forget to say it before any specific any specific things in here, everything from this point forward is alleged
By someone else.
by someone who's not us.
But also, But also, I don't think that is like the legal thing that you think it is.
I think that really I'm in the clear now.
Okay.
I think if you just say,
We're just reporting on something that someone else said.
this is something that someone else said. How can we get in trouble for that?
We're not getting it.
Some say that this is true.
A lot of
No,
people.
some people
Well,
say it. I don't know if they say it's true or not, but they said it.
This lady says it's true. She's alleging
alleging
it.
it.
She's alleging it. She's
Yes.
alleging that it's true.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. So I don't really know what she did. I heard she says she worked in the entertainment industry, worked in A&R.
Yeah.
I can't really find any evidence
She
so
said
much of that.
Yeah, she loves like representing different artists or working with labels.
Really,
I don't know.
I just found the one artist that she represented, but I'm sure there could be more.
Sure.
But her last job that I could figure out was being sexy lady on internet, which is important to this story because that Kanye goes crazy for that.
Yeah.
He's got some problems. But she had an OnlyFans that she says was bringing $1 million a year. And she knew Kanye. She'd been like, not peripheral. She'd been in the music business. And in 2021, Kanye West hires her as a personal assistant. So the lawsuit says that Kanye made it clear that he had been infatuated since like 2014, 2015, and that her OnlyFans may have been a reason he had to have her close to him.
So this means that Kanye has an OnlyFans account.
Yes, I mean I think it's very clear from
Does
this lawsuit.
Kanye question?
Yeah.
Does Kanye? Is it an anonymous? Does he tell them that he's Kanye West, or is it just like I'm Kanye, but that's a secret only to me?
So I was curious about that as well. Like, what email address that he using there? I would assume that he's using like a secret email address that's not like Kanye West. But and I'll play a clip from it later. I did watch the craziest podcast, Liz, that you could ever fucking imagine. I watched the entirety of it because I had seen a clip of it on the internet on Twitter, and they were talking about how Kanye West used to DM the host of the podcast or have his people reach out to the host of the podcast to send him porn stars. And there is one porn star that's on it named Sky Bree that he was like asking for specific videos from, or specific things.
But do you think he's like DMing people on OnlyFans, being like, "I'm Kanye"?
I don't know. And I feel like if someone DM'd you on OnlyFans saying, I'm Kanye West, you're
Like, why would you believe
you
that?
wouldn't believe that. Yeah. I don't know. Listen, if you are a sexy lady who takes off your freaky clothes on OnlyFans.com and Kanye West has reached out to you, please hit the tip line.
Hit the tip line.
Hit the tip line. I have heard, Liz, I've heard things about Kanye West.
Yeah, same.
I've
Who
heard things about
hasn't?
Kanye West. She also says that in the suit that that Kanye West told her she inspired Yeezy Season 1 and contributed in some undefined way to a few tracks off of Donda.
Okay, I am sure that Kanye told her that.
Yes.
Now, do I think that she did? No, I do not.
I think that may have been something that...
I think that Kim was the inspiration for season 1.
I will say that part of the lawsuit was like very weak because it was like it was alleging that she had contributed creatively to Yeezy Season 1 because Kanye many years later told her she was an inspiration to it. I was like, I
think that's just a line. I think he's saying that a lot.
I know, but I'm like, let's get that out of the lawsuit.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you. So Kanye West hires her in 2021 and he's paying her $1 million a year. $1 million.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to be on call 24/7, 365 days a year. I think that's pretty standard for personal assistants in Hollywood, which is, by the way, it sounds like the worst job that you could ever
Wait,
have.
$1 million a year is standard for personal assistants?
No, the on call 24/7.
Oh,
I think they're
okay.
like. I have talked to. I have talked to
Yeah.
a former personal assistant of a very famous, cruel, short-haired woman. Now it's the way I say this. It's going to
who?
make
Just bleep it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, who is famously canceled for being mean.
Yeah.
The way-
And very good friends with Diddy.
And the way he's very good friends with Diddy, and the
Lot of good
what
TikToks
I
about
heard
that.
about. I mean, it just seems a lot of being a personal assistant is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like,
fucking awful and crazy. There's a big reason why people only last like a year. It's the turnover is crazy.
Also, if I was in charge of Bravo, I'd do anything to do a reality show about personal assistants.
I
in
think they
LA.
tried that.
Oh, but the
Many
people
years
they
ago.
personally assist probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah, so that's why you'd also get like D-Lit because then you have to. Yeah, it's
You have to get like the
that's-
personal assistants to
it's tough because that's you got so many NDAs there.
So the three things stand out in this lawsuit besides the serious allegations, but there's three themes that run through the lawsuit, I should say. One is Kanye West's porn addiction. Mm-hmm. The second is his addiction to sexual honey. Mm-hmm. And the third is his addiction to asking where my hug is at.
Yeah, he's big on the hugs.
I tried
That's not a euphemism.
Unfortunately, this is not a searchable PDF, and while I tried to use tools to make the PDF searchable, I was unable to, and then I just gave up after 5 minutes. But the word hug has got to appear like 30 or 40 times in this fucking lawsuit.
Yeah, he likes to hug.
And he not only does he like to hug, he likes to ask for a hug.
Yeah. Will you read this poem?
Absolutely. You, Pilates, just the thought, broke my penis.
So that is a text from Kanye West. I want to just, to be clear, there's absolutely you, Pilates. Those are all different lines.
Yes.
So it legitimately reads as a poem. I really want this to just be clear for our listeners.
Absolutely you, Pilates, just the thought broke my penis. So we know about Kanye West's porn addiction. Like, Kanye West has talked about it numerous times. And in fact, yesterday, I watched several clips of him on a very popular YouTube channel called NoFap.
Oh.
About, it's a no.
It's right
it's
there
about
in the
not
name.
jacking off.
Yeah.
Where he was like inspo for that, which is
that's well,
that's
he does
crazy.
go famous monk mode moments. Which
I know he does have those, but
Yeah.
he definitely. I think the problem is that he goes back to the jacking off. But I do want to play a clip from a Jimmy Kimmel appearance that he made from about 6 years ago.
Do you feel like your attitude towards women has changed since having daughters?
Nah, I still look at Pornhub and...
What kind of stuff do you look at? What categories?
Blacked is my favorite category.
You don't have to go into that. I mean, you can if you want. But
I mean, what's the point of being Kanye West if you can't? Let's break down the porn categories. A lot of black on white, obviously.
Oh, yeah. So it's mirroring your own self, your own situation.
My own reality.
Yeah, right. It's like doubly masturbating in a way, if you think about it.
How do you do that? I need that double.
I'll show you after the show.
No, I don't want to see.
Dude, that's so fucking depressing.
Kimmel seems. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel, obviously.
Obviously.
But he seems very uncomfortable there.
I thought he seemed like almost too comfortable.
No, that's a
Mr.
guy.
Man Show.
That to me feels like a guy panicking.
I
right
think
there.
I don't know. That's really depressing on so many levels, but also that fucking passing for mass culture in this godforsaken country.
I think what's interesting is that Kanye basically in response to a question about his kids immediately brings up his porn watching habits, right? Which brings to mind an Instagram post he made, I think, a couple of years ago when he was like really kind of going crazy and posting all that shit on Instagram. He said, "Hollywood is a giant brothel. Pornography destroyed my family. I deal with the addiction. Instagram promotes it. Not going to let it to happen to Northie in Chicago."
So that's the complete opposite of what he just said on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't know, have you ever seen the video of him showing porn to Adidas executives?
No, I don't think so.
It is so crazy because it's like he's filming it for like some kind of Kanye West vlog thing. Like it's his cameraman. And it's like, it's clear that he's making them sit in this weird room. Like they're sitting on like these really tall stools and like kind of in a circle. And he's just like standing up and just showing them porn on his phone and being like, yeah, check it out. Like, and he's talking about the guy's voice or something. It's very, very strange. That was not too long before Adidas dropped him. But one thing is Lauren alleges is that he's always asking her to wear something called Wolford leggings, which he refers to as super pants.
Yeah, he's always like, women wear the super pants.
What are Wolford leggings?
Wolford is just a brand of hosiery. And so their leggings, they make a couple different leggings. I think he's probably they're probably like the WoW leggings or whatever. They're like $300 something. Wilford is just like expensive pantyhose.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like it's very clear that like he wants them all the kind of women around him dressed in these pantyhose basically at all times.
Yeah, which I mean that's basically what Yeezy was, and then what he made Bianca wear when she did wear the clothes.
When she did wear pantyhose. He would brag that he paid her $1 million a year. He would like brag about it to other people, and that she was the quote smartest and hottest assistant of all time. That she's quote a millionaire and an OnlyFans superstar. And so like you can kind of see Kanye like going around being like, yeah, check out my assistant. Like she's the smartest and hottest assistant of all time, and she's a millionaire, and she's an OnlyFans superstar.
Yeah.
And she's my assistant. Like, isn't that crazy? But in August 2022, the lawsuit alleges that he freaked out and changed his mind and demanded that Lauren delete her OnlyFans. He told her if he was going to be president of the United States, his chief of staff could not have an OnlyFans.
Which, like, I mean, I think it's terrible that he freaked out on her, but I do agree that a president of the United States could not have a chief of staff that had an OnlyFans.
I just don't think that society
Just in the abstract.
I just don't think that would, I think that people would not like that. I think it would be tough. Maybe a national security.
Steve Bannon, OnlyFans. He probably could have.
General Mark Milley OnlyFans. Can you read from this little bit of the lawsuit here?
Defendant later admitted to plaintiff another one of the real reasons he needed her to delete her account. Kanye West, aka Ye, blamed plaintiff's OnlyFans account for being too much of a temptation and distraction to him as he searched for it and requested images from it regularly while he temporarily decided to be more, quote, godlike, among other things. Kanye West, aka Ye, promised plaintiff that if she deleted her OnlyFans account, defendants would pay her $1 million. $1 million.
So this is the thing. He's like, I'll give you $1 million to delete your OnlyFans account. And she's like, by the way, she says, I feel like she wouldn't lie about this because I feel like it'd be pretty easy to prove. She's making $1 million from OnlyFans. Mm-hmm. You know, okay, I'll take $1 million to delete it. Fine. Like I'm making $1 million a year here now. Like I guess it seems easy. She does it, and then he never pays her the money.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And he does, however, at one point send her this text.
I always get money. I never get Lauren. Wow, that's so true.
So true.
So those godlike phase that she mentions in that excerpt from the suit. This was like something that he would like repeatedly go into. It's kind of like his monk mode. So it's like, this is a quote from the suit. During such a time, Ye would very briefly take stock of his disgraceful and illegal behavior and lifestyle, spend some time thinking about his family and his children, and ultimately want to repent in some way. Ye would then require everyone around him to make adjustments in their lives and adapt to the new brief phase of his life. During these self-described, quote, godlike times, Ye demanded there be no cursing, no alcohol, no sex, all women in close proximity be covered head to toe, and to that point more specifically, no midriff showing and no high heels because that was a, quote, a different type of energy, and avoided midriffs and high heels would not, quote, tempt Ye. So it's like, I mean, she's really describing these like bipolar shame spirals.
Yes.
It's like he genuinely has like two modes, which is like Bianca Censori is naked in front of me, or everyone in the vicinity needs to put on a burqa.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he vacillates between those like so rapidly.
Yes.
And you know what she says in here, and she mentions it a few times throughout the lawsuit, is that like he would do all these crazy fucked up things to people and then like feel some weird thing that's like guilt, but he's so like divorced from like being able to understand his emotions or like grapple with them in this way because he's very severely mentally ill and like seemingly completely untreated. And he would just like retreat into this way where this is like we see his constant swings to like super hardcore Christian, and then like 2 seconds later back to like getting a blowjob on a boat from Bianca Censori, who, by the way, we should have mentioned this at the top.
Oh,
they're now getting divorced.
Yeah, she's getting divorced.
They're getting divorced. And boy,
big surprise.
Probably I guarantee that there are people making her sign fresh NDAs every single day. They have guys with iPads.
Those NDAs are
just
fresh
a string of them going to her door there. But then he would be back to his usual ways. Like he'd go through these like shame spirals, and then he would like go back to like everyone's got to be naked again.
Yeah.
And then he would also just straight up send Lauren porno and what seemed to be videos of Yeezy employees having sex with women. So Listen, that just this is I don't even know how to explain this, but like it seems like what he has here is like a sex tape that he probably made or had sent to him of a Yeezy employee having sex with somebody. I think his penis is also in it at some point because there's a reference to it. But could you just could you read this section out? And these are texts. This is like the text, the lawsuit's explaining like the different texts he's sending her in a row.
35 seconds, video of defendant and, name withheld, a Yeezy employee having intercourse, followed by a text saying, what you think of this vid? 10 seconds, video of defendant and name withheld, a Yeezy employee having intercourse, shortened and cropped version of previous video. 19 seconds, video of defendant and name withheld, a Yeezy employee having intercourse. This video and video above were followed by a text saying, I edited, LOL. Defendant cropped his penis out of the frame because he said it did not look big enough to send to, name withheld, one of his male friends / prominent music business executive. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess like he took out 16 seconds of the video, which maybe showed his penis in it. I guess he's sending, I mean, this is what's crazy is like his penis didn't look big enough. And so like he can't send it to like his boy. I mean, just like, this is so crazy to me, right? Like you're having sex with one employee of your company, taking a video of it to send to a male friend / prominent business executive, and sending the edits you're making on your phone of it to another employee of your company and being like, do you think this is good? So at one point, he FaceTimes Lauren when this is one of the craziest parts to me. At one point, he FaceTimes Lauren when her friend is in town and asks Lauren to put her friend on, and then starts having sex while looking at her phone on FaceTime. This is like related to some bowling alley incident that is like referenced a couple of times, where it's like very clear that Lauren and some people went bowling with Kanye West, and he got like really horny at the bowling alley because he talks about later in text messages being really horny. Everyone was so horny at the bowling alley.
Which is weird.
I know, it's very strange. But he's like, it's like the further thing that describes is like, he's like on FaceTime. He's not having sex yet. He's like, yo, put your phone on. Like, put your friend on the phone. Put your friend on the phone. Lauren hands the phone to her friend. And then Kanye West just starts having sex and like looking at her on FaceTime. He also loved to masturbate on the phone. Do you want to read this part out real quick?
Ye regularly called plaintiff under the guise of discussing work-related topics, which she was required to answer all calls promptly or she could be terminated. Defendant would breathe heavily and masturbate loud enough to be heard during Yeezy business phone calls. Kanye West, aka Ye, would stop the conversation to ask plaintiff and others if she or they could hear or guess what he was doing in the background. I mean, it's like so absurd. It's just so fucking absurd what people put up with because they think it'll get them X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, it really is. You know, we played the clip earlier of Kanye West telling Jimmy Kimmel that he likes to watch, like his specific thing that he likes in porn, which I think has been reported on before, is that he likes like black on white porn. And he appears to grapple with this during some text messages to Lauren.
I think you can read this one.
I feel like you can read this one.
But I think you can and will.
I'll read the first half and you read the second half.
I think you should go for it.
Okay, I just want to preface this by saying this is Kanye West saying all this stuff. Don't get mad at me. I have a serious question. Be honest with me. Is my dick racist? It is. This fucking racist dick of mine. I'm going to beat this fucking racist dick for being fucking racist. I'm going to stare at pictures of white women with black asses and beat the shit out of my racist dick. This racist needs to be beaten till it can't be racist no more. This ain't right, bro. After 400 years, we still at this point. The richest black man ever, beating the shit out of his big black cock.
Burroughs could never.
This is all one text message, by the way.
But many, many lines of text.
It's interesting because I Googled, I was like, I feel like I've heard this before. And I Googled my dick is racist. and it appears that he's cribbing from a 2010 John Mayer Playboy interview, where I believe John Mayer also just straight up uses the N-word at some point because he says he has a hood pass and then says the N-word.
Really?
Yes.
That's so funny.
Oh, it really is.
People were doing crazy shit back in the 2010s.
It really was.
The naughty
yeah.
oddies were
People
sure
were going,
naughty.
People were going bonkers. So John Mayer is asked, do black women throw themselves at you? Which is I guess, I don't know what the hell they're asking Playboy here. And Mayer responds, I don't think I open myself to it. My dick is sort of like a white supremacist. I've got a Benetton heart and a fucking David Duke cock. I'm going to start dating separately from my dick.
That's a crazy ass thing to say.
Could you imagine saying that in an interview, dude?
I'm telling you, people were saying this was the time of Spike TV. Entourage was on the air. Like these
that's
were different
very
times.
Entourage. That's very Entourage.
Jimmy Kimmel was a star on The Man Show.
And did I tell you I watched an episode of The Man Show like a couple of years ago?
Dude, that show was fucking nasty.
It's so crazy. It's not like, listen, I think like if something's funny, it can be funny. You know what I mean? Even if it's a bad motherfucker doing it, even if it's whatever. If it's funny, it's funny. It's not funny. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he also keeps making references to telling that he's told Bianca Censori, his wife at one point, but his ex-wife now, that he wants to have sex with her mom.
Yeah. That's when afterwards he says, I just raised the toxicity levels, which is like so fucking good. He's like, I just told Bianca that I want to have sex with her mom. I just raised the toxicity levels.
It's weird,
which is like
because
actually that part of the text is very good.
that part of the text is really good. It's so weird too, because like that specifically, I was like, so he is like kind of aware, like that he's being a crazy person.
Yes, he's literally. What's the speaking of memes? What's the meme of the guy, the little face, the little like. I don't know what it is.
Draw it for me in the air.
It's the face, and he's got the big grin, the big
Troll face.
Troll face.
Troll
That's
face.
what Kanye is doing. He's
Problem?
That's him.
Yeah. You mad?
He's totally.
I
texting
guarantee
that.
if we seized Kanye's phone in his meme folder, it's going to be
man.
all that guy.
That man does not have meme folders. He doesn't have folders. It's all just one.
I'm all just one too. I'm sorry. Is there a problem with just being all one? Because you guys are not all one.
I'm just saying that I don't think that Kanye is very organized.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I mean, he has people to do it for him that he pays.
That's
very
true.
well.
That's true.
But he has something, and this is something that has been kind of out in the public rumor sphere for kind of a while, but that he has like a cuckolding fetish. So I don't actually know if it's mentioned in the lawsuit. I might have been like some rumors I read online, but I really do believe this, that he would play the Ray J, Kim K sex tape like in the studio on repeat. Like to like, I don't know.
These people are so fucked up.
I know. I mean,
Just
this
like
is
there's
like
so many levels of just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Money, all this shit makes people insane.
He said he has this like cuckolding fetish where like he wants to be cuckolded, but then he also wants to cuckold. So like, he wants everybody involved on every aspect to be the cuckold.
He just
'Cause,
wants
like,
everyone to be humiliated.
Yes,
so
including
that
himself. Yeah.
Including himself.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I agree with that. But he wants like one of the things that he keeps saying is like he wants women to have sex with other people and then tell him about it.
Yeah.
Do you want to read this text? I feel
See, my problem is I be wanting to fuck, but then after I fuck, I want a girl to tell me how hard they've been fucked while I'm fucking them. Then I want her to cheat on me and go get fucked with a bigger dick than mine and come back and tell me the story. Then I want her to suck my dick with her best friend, or option B, suck my dick with a bad bitch I'm fucking already that I fucked, then made her tell me how hard she's been fucked while I'm fucking her, then went and fucked somebody with a bigger dick behind my back and told me while I was fucking her. Ain't that fucked?
It's almost like a riddle.
Yeah, I don't really want to unpack that one.
It took me a while reading it.
It's a kind of who's on first situation.
I'm not asking you who's on second. Who's on first? I don't know. Third base.
So I have to play you guys something right now. And Liz, like, I just want to say, like, I really value you as a friend. I value you as a woman.
Do we really need to play it?
I need to play this clip from this episode right now. I watched a podcast yesterday called Pillow Talk.
Pillow talk.
Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk. It's Pillow Talk. Milk Talk. Pillow Talk.
There you go.
I watched a podcast called Pillow Talk yesterday.
Just reading the words how they're written.
I had never. You can pronounce it. It's a name for a device, so you can pronounce it anyway. You like. Yeah, it's a device. A pillow or pillow is a device that one lays their head upon while pretending to get comfortable to sleep.
Okay, so this is a podcast featuring Sky Bree and Zoe Luna.
And the podcast is entitled "World's Best BJ."
Like, what the fuck is this country?
I know. I
Like,
know.
We are such fucking trash, stupid moron people.
Back when Kanye used to text me, he would be like, I want videos of you getting fucked by the biggest dick you've ever taken.
He likes that shit.
Yeah.
He likes, actually.
I sent him stuff by Dread, and he was like, I want bigger. And I was like, how much bigger do you think it exists? Like,
he got his wife Dread for Christmas. That was his
he
Christmas.
probably honestly did.
That's
I feel like
so
they're
sweet.
into like the craziest kinky shit.
I sent them 5 girls. I'm happy
Did
to
you
say.
really?
Yeah. I'm happy to say.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you lying?
I swear, Liam, have I sent 5 people to Kanye? Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't sign an NDA. I can say it.
Okay, pimp.
That's crazy.
I never got a thank you. I never even got to talk to
You
Kanye.
didn't even get a thank you?
I never even spoke to Kanye.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Just doing it for the love of the game.
well, what is cool?
Mm-hmm.
What is cool is that like he would request the girls that were on this show that week. So it's like
So he's a fan of the show.
that's what I like.
Okay,
wow.
okay.
That's what I like. And that's enough for me. You know.
Yeah.
Dude, what the fuck?
First of all, this podcast is like,
What the fuck is Jerkmate Presents? Is that a porn site?
yes, I believe it's a porn.
And they
site.
have a podcast? Come on, we have to do porn podcasts now? Come on.
And it's got
all everywhere anyway.
229,000 subscribers on YouTube here. Zoe and Sky have such great chemistry. That was such a great episode. Her mom is on OnlyFans and she's raking more bread than she is. Put her mom profile in the description of this video immediately.
No.
Oh my God. Am I the only guy who remembers Carmela Bing? I don't know what that means. I met Sky Mudd. She was so nice. She was nervous around crowd. This is really tough.
Come on.
But I mean, so I guess Sky Bree on this podcast, I think these are both porn stars, is saying that like Kanye West used to text her and be like, I'm looking for like big dick video. So he's like making requests there. But I looked up, so they mentioned someone named Dread, and I looked up Dread earlier today, and I don't know if I kept the link up. Here we go. So Dread, I guess, has like elephantitis penis. Oof. He's got a 13.5 inch penis. Here's a sex toy that approximates his wiener. Yeah. Well, you can't see anything there.
You can right there.
Oh yeah, you can't. Oh wow. And Kanye's like, I mean, I don't know about this because the host of by the way, the male host of the show is, I watched the entire episode looking for this clip. I just kind of put it on the background when I was putting away stuff last night. This guy is a fucking freak and should be locked up. But he's like, he got Bianca Censori Dread for Christmas and like, I guess sex with this guy. But he's saying like, yeah, I sent him like 5 women. Mm-hmm. I said, like, but like he's like hooking him up with porn stars or something. It's just it's so strange to me. But this is like the big thing that like Kanye, I know this is pretty much just confirmed. Or this is confirmed. Like Kanye West is like a size queen. Like he needs like his what he likes to watch in both real life and in porno, and like his weird his beautiful dark twisted fantasy is like a very large penis in action.
One little tidbit that's pretty fun in the suit is that we get an origin story for the infamous DEFCON 3 tweet. Now, I don't know if this is true, but like everything in this lawsuit, I choose to believe it's true. So I'm going to go with it. What she says in the suit is that on October 8th, 2022.
Interesting.
Ye was out with an unnamed model at one of his favorite restaurants in LA, Giorgio Baldi. Now, I did look up paparazzo shots from that time, and I did see Ye spotted leaving Giorgio Baldi with unnamed model, and in fact,
That's why she's the GOAT.
Wearing hats that said 2024. So this was
that was
around
during
that
his,
time.
yeah.
Okay, so the lawsuit claims that at dinner he was repeatedly texting Lauren demanding a hotel suite for after dinner, presumably to go have sex with the model. She freaks out because none of the hotels on his approved list of hotels have anything available, and she's like deathly afraid of his wrath. Apparently he's like, he's abusive, he's crazy, she's afraid of him. So she contacts one of his real estate managers who pulls some strings and gets him a suite at redacted 5-star West Hollywood Hotel. I have looked this up. I believe, based on clues in the suit, that it is the Pendry West Hollywood.
Ooh.
This is what I believe. Kanye goes there, checks in, and then 10 minutes later calls Lauren from the hotel lobby, like totally flipping out. He's like, the hotel is total trash. I can't believe this. This is a disgusting room. It's way too small. It has light blue walls. The decor is disgusting. How can you believe? I can't even believe that you would book me at this place. Like, you don't even know me. Why would you send me here? Like, flipping out. And you know how Kanye is very specific about interiors and aesthetics. Now, Lauren says that she tells Ye that it was the real estate manager who secured it. Basically, she's like throwing him under the bus.
Yeah.
Now, Kanye loses it and at this moment texts her back, "Of course he got me a room with light blue baby walls because that's something a Jew would do."
Liz, when I get her a Coke Zero instead of a Diet Coke.
I do prefer Diet Coke.
I am so with you on that.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm so with you on that.
It's the one.
It's the one.
And then it goes regular Coke, and then it goes Coke Zero.
That's just right.
Yeah,
that's correct.
There's nothing else.
There's nothing else.
Cherry Coke is like doesn't exist.
I do like it from the movie theater, but I don't get
Fountain only.
Fountain only
at
for
the
ballpark.
ballpark.
I don't go to the ballpark.
You should.
I banned.
We're banned.
Okay. So she says, back to the only thing that a Jew would do. So she says that the only thing that will calm Kanye down is immediately getting him a suite at San Ysidro Ranch in Santa Barbara, Montecito. Super fancy retreat.
That's the only thing we can do to calm Kanye down. It's, hey, he's freaking out right now. We need to get him a suite at San Ysidro Ranch in Santa Barbara. Isn't that like an hour? Well, West Hollywood. Isn't it like a 45-minute drive, though?
To Montecito, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending on traffic. She says that Ye would just like kept texting her like crazy anti-Semitic things, and then he says, "Hold on, I'm gonna write some of my thoughts on Jewish people," and like sends her screenshots of like Notes app essays on Jews, and she says that immediately after this, Kanye set out the infamous tweet reproduced in the suit. "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda." So this is the origin of that tweet, which is like so... Again, I'm choosing to believe this because it makes way more... it makes so much sense that the thing that would set Kanye off on this like absurd anti-Semitic, iconic for bad reasons anti-Semitic tweet is like some mishap with like sending him to like a shitty West Hollywood hotel suite with like ugly decor, which I did look up. It is ugly. I'm with Kanye on that.
It's light blue baby
Look
blue
it up.
walls.
Look up the Pendry West Hollywood. Look at the interior.
Pendry West Hollywood interior suite. Oh, yeah.
I would not send Kanye West there. I'm just saying.
No. Oh my God, this lobby? Vibe Hotel.
It's really bad.
This is a Vibe Hotel.
But like, so when that tweet hit, everyone was like, Kanye's crazy, Trump, and like, all that's true.
Yes.
But it being spurred from like a shitty hotel room is so fucking perfect, as opposed to him being like, I'm finally ready to unleash my like secret anti-Semitism. You know what I mean?
It's so funny because people
it's
like
fucking like TripAdvisor travel choice winning hotel.
Well, it's so funny because like you still see this from like insane people that are like, Kanye like woke up and he figured out the truth and stuff. But like meanwhile, like Kanye is trying to like, he's like too neuroatypical to like have sex with this model in a baby blue hotel room, and that he has to go to San Isidro and at like suite in Santa Barbara, and he's like, these fucking Jews did this to me. Like, my fucking Jew fucking real estate advisor did this to me. Like, these pieces of shit are trying to like fuck with Kanye. Fuck these guys. Fuck these guys. I will say, the funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. I said this before on the show, and I'll say it again. If you're Jewish and you get offended by like black Israelites or anything like that, you are out of your fucking mind. Like, they're Jewish. Let them be Jewish. Like, that's fine with me. I mean, Kanye isn't a black Israelite, but I'm just saying now.
He dabbled for sure. I think without knowing it.
I think it was just kind of in the air.
It was in the air. In the same way that I think the sovereign citizen thing is in the air. We just got to get him to grab it.
Well, I'll say this. As somebody who has been, at different points in my life, friends with a guy who would become a Moor, like we talked about at the beginning of the episode, and friends with a black Israelite, who was a boxer at my old gym, and who I got along with very well. I'm like, they're cool. I like fucking weirdos. You know what I mean? Like, they seem fine to me.
So there's some other good Hitler details in this. So he told, this is like, after this.
Interesting.
Yes. He told Lauren he was now, quote, at war, and specifically, quote, at war with Jews. He made her come to his new office, which was over at Dov Charney's factory.
Sorry, hold on. I guess he's at war with all Jews except for the disgraced, Me Too'd owner of American Apparel.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to. Maybe he didn't know.
Is
although it does seem like he's asking everyone if they're Jewish.
He is. I don't think that Kanye West is good at figuring out who is Jewish or not.
Yeah, he's not. So they're at the factory and he tries giving like a big rah speech to the team. And I have to read this whole thing because this scene is so funny. During this disturbing speech, Kanye West paced back and forth as he took heavy breaths and aggressively expressed his love and admiration for the genius Adolf Hitler.
I love Hitler. He was amazing. He built the fucking freeways.
Kanye West, aka Ye, went on to announce his infatuation with Nazis and the Holocaust, as well as his utter hatred for very specific Jewish people, especially the Jewish people who were currently in power within the music industry, names withheld, among many other things. Kanye West, aka Ye's, uninterrupted hate speech went on for about an hour, allowing no one to speak unless directly spoken to by defendant. Kanye West, aka Ye, concluded his racist-fueled rant again by again stating he was at war with Jews. Now, it goes on. They're in the factory. They're coming up with all of these new ideas for Yeezy, and this is what Kanye says. As Kanye West, aka Ye, blurted out the requirements and design ideas for his new logo, defendant demanded that the young graphic designer first begin by drawing him a swastika. The graphic designer declined. Kanye West, aka Ye, insisted that the designer draw a swastika because he wanted to include it within the design of his new Yeezy logo. The young designer again declined defendant's demands. Kanye West, aka Ye, continued to badger, pressure, and bully the young designer to draw him a swastika, insisting that it was now a, quote, test. And then he asked if he was Jewish. The young man bravely looked at Kanye West and said that he had read enough and he knew enough about the Holocaust and what Hitler did that he could not accept defendant's request to draw a swastika. Kanye West would not take no for an answer. Kanye West began his typical style of threats when he didn't get his way by saying if the graphic designer did not draw a swastika right then, he would be terminated and would need to leave the premises immediately. After much persistence, pressure, and intimidation by Kanye West, like usual, he got what he wanted. The young graphic designer voiced that he would draw a swastika for Kanye West if it meant keeping his job. Kanye West stood closely over the young man until the swastika was complete.
I mean,
dude,
this is so insane.
But it's also like so childish. Like what? Oh, wow! The big bad scary boy we're drawing swastikas. Like, what are you, fucking 14?
I was 14 and did it a lot.
Your school bathroom, like being like, look how dangerous I am.
I did think it was really cool when I was 14.
But like, come on, dude.
This is the funny thing about this is, first of all, it paints a picture really well of Kanye West just standing over, and I'm picturing you know what we all picture when we picture a graphic designer.
He was a graphic designer.
He was a graphic designer, but no, I'm not even saying he was Jewish, but maybe he was. But I'm just like picturing some like weedy guy with glasses, like Kanye West. His bloated, like, you know, fucking lithium face, like looking over him, being like, swastika, man. You got to draw the swastika.
Yes, this kid is like a design intern at fucking Yeezy, like just graduated from fucking Pratt and is like trying to get on the next plane to Berlin, and he's got fucking Kanye making him draw a swastika.
I will say, though, this describes him as brave.
I know. Well, there's a lot of colorful details
in
this
suit. He did
suit.
draw the swastika. Like, he did do it.
He's not that brave.
I'm like, okay, so he said no like 4 times and then was like, yes, I'm breaking into pressure.
Also, like
you could just not draw the swastika and get fired.
Yeah, also, you know, it's not as if you're like resisting real fascism by not drawing a swastika.
Also, the reality is, if you're fired for not drawing a swastika, listen, I'm not super up on like labor laws when it comes to this stuff. Feel like you might have a bit of a wrongful termination suit in your hands.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There was a lot of Nazi stuff going on at Yeezy. He said I guess, Ye often said things such as Heil Hitler and performed the Nazi salute hand gesture around the Yeezy office. I literally am just like picturing him like storming around going, Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler, like as like a row of people on computers are just like typing.
Yeah, like walking behind people, like doing measurements for sweatpants and stuff.
Yeah. Kanye would regularly compare himself to Adolf Hitler and refer to himself as a Nazi. Ye proudly and aggressively voiced that everyone must, quote, fall in line because it was his, quote, regime, and that Yeezy employees were his, quote, army, and, quote, he was Hitler. I mean, it is like, I know we should talk about this, like, this is very serious, very grave situation, but this is like absurd.
I think what's so funny is that
if you
like
worked at Yeezy and Kanye West was storming around saying, Heil Hitler, I'm Hitler, you're my army, this is a regime, fall in line because I'm Hitler, hit the tip line.
I'm Hitler!
Hit the tip line.
It's just like, I'm sorry, but like, I could not respect you if you're like, just like, what do you say after you get home from work? That, oh, how was work, honey? Oh, it was all right. Kanye West, my boss, just kind of walked around saying Heil Hitler all day, and he was
not doing a German accent.
He's not doing a German accent. You think he's doing like? You think he's doing the kind of like limp?
No,
Hitler
he's
Heil?
Going straight.
He's doing the like
rod.
we see Hitler Heil.
Yes, but
we're both Zig Heil right now.
I'm the
it's
one
okay.
guy.
I give her permission.
Yeah, we got our graphic designer bravely holding court there.
No, he's doing the limp Heil. We're hiling him.
I think he's hiling hard.
I think he's hard hiling.
And then he's just going Heil Hitler,
Heil Hitler, Heil Hitler. And I think he's like interjecting Heil Hitler.
We need an AI to do a Kanye West Heil Hitler.
Yeah, we really do. I'm looking and making eye contact with you right now.
Look into that.
Look into Kanye West Heil Hitler.
Hi, this is Kanye West, and you're listening to my favorite podcast, TrueAnon. I love Liz, I love Brace, and I love Hitler. Heil Hitler.
There's one last little detail before we get to the hug and the honey issues.
And I will say, I totally missed this. I'm very glad that you put this in here.
So apparently she claims that Ye said this, like proudly, was, you know, kind of bragging about how he would, quote, that he would send, quote, vile sexual text messages to the editor-in-chief of the most famous fashion publication in the world, name withheld. Now, I will say this. A lot of times in these suits, we're throwing around it's a 5-star hotel. It's like, no, it's not a 5-star hotel. It's an A-list celebrity. That's not an A-list celebrity.
I will say.
When those names get leaked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but if you are saying it is the most famous fashion publication in the world and the editor-in-chief, it has to be Anna Wintour.
There's that. That's the only.
And he has a relationship with Anna.
Yeah.
Because of Yeezy. I mean, and Vogue was like totally covered Yeezy in Paris, like over and over again. He was always in Vogue. Kim was on the cover. Like, but he's like fucking sending sexy text messages to Anna Wintour. What, Anna? Hit the tip line.
Hit the tip
Leak
line.
those text messages. I do not care about anything else at Vogue. I don't give a fuck if you're her personal assistant. Oh no, it's so terrible.
The
for me.
devil wears Prada.
What is it? 2010? No one cares anymore.
No one cares.
Send us the sexy text messages.
Send us, if you work at Vogue, if you work in fashion,
dude,
send us
so
the
many
sexy
fucking
text
Kanye
messages.
assholes listen to this podcast. Hack into her. Get us the Kanye text.
Get in the mainframe. If you work at Condé Nast, get every string you pull that shit. I want to see Kanye West sending like.
Is he sending porn to Anna Wintour?
Yes, I think he's sending porn to Anna Wintour.
He's sending porn to anyone else. Is he
He's
asking?
showing porn to Adidas executives.
Is he asking Anna Wintour for hugs?
Is he asking Anna Wintour to send a normal picture of a pussy from the front?
Does he want to fuck Anna Wintour's mom?
Does he want to? Has he? I think the question we might have to be asking is: has he fucked Anna Wintour?
This is what the tip line is for.
Does Anna Wintour fuck?
I don't know. I don't like thinking about that.
I don't like, but I am. But I am thinking about it. But I can't picture the other person. I guess I'll put myself in there. No, not good. So the lawsuit makes numerous references to something that I think will really freak a lot of you guys out.
As it should.
Now, long have I asked this question to two people in this room whose identities will remain nameless. And never have I received a response that I found at all satisfactory. And the question is, where's my hug at? Because it's often missing. And if I have to ask, then I might not even ever really get
I really think it's where my hug at.
Where is my hug at? Where is my hug at? The lawsuit says many times that Kanye would demand intimate, quote, hugs. And sometimes the hugs are in quotes. Sometimes the hug is just naked. Not literally, but like, I'm sure Kanye would like that. But it's just, the word hug is just used regularly. Sometimes it's got quotes.
I think it's unclear if it's a euphemism or if I think it's just a hug. I think he just wants a hug.
I think it's a hug, but it's a sexual hug.
But it's like sexual from him, but it's still just a hug.
It is,
but it's not like it's time for hugs.
I know
and
it's not like
Kanye's
it's not like
are like rape.
It's not like yeah,
it's like
exactly.
a hug.
It's not like it's like it's used like semi-euphemistically, but it's not a euphemism for sex.
Yeah, it's like it's like an inappropriate length of a hug. And like maybe it's like a too close hug. And the fact that you're demanding a hug makes it like definitely more than a hug, but it's still a hug. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. So the lawsuit says that Kanye referred to hugging and touching plaintiff's body for extended periods of time in order to have the opportunity to caress her body through her leggings long enough to determine if she was wearing undergarments as a off-limits act.
Yes.
Kanye West still insisted in his notorious hug when he saw plaintiff and many other women in person.
It was a gateway hug.
It was a gateway hug. So I'm not going to make you read this because I respect you. But this is reading direct from the lawsuit. Kanye West, a.k.a. Ye, continually told plaintiff he wanted a, quote, hug from her. It was continual and on multiple occasions. He sent a screenshot of a photo of plaintiff that he took and had saved in his phone and texted, hug, please. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5 U's and several E's in the please there. Yeah. Defendant also took a screenshot of a photo of plaintiff from her social media, sent it to her, and texted crazy with 2 E's. A bleep never wanted a hug so bad. And don't put an actual bleep there, young Chomsky. I can see that you were thinking of doing it, but if you put an actual bleep there, people will think that I fucking said it.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm just covering all my bases here. But hug, please. Kanye West, a.k.a. Ye, in between sending videos of defendant having sex with a model, defendant then sent a text with a meme to plaintiff to clarify what he intended and meant when he said he wanted a hug from plaintiff. So if we scroll down, Liz, can you describe what this what this picture, this meme he sent her is?
When I say I need a hug, and then it has one of my favorite emojis, which is the sad face, but with the welled up crying, big eyes.
Pleading face.
Is that what they call it?
If you type pleading, that will come up.
Well, who does that?
I do.
You're typing pleading?
Because it gets that emoji.
What's going
Well,
on
it's
in
just
your
on
life?
it's just on my, I just scroll through. But I love that one. So he says, when I need a hug, and then it has that emoji, but this is what I mean, and then it has purple devil emoji, also one of my favorite emojis.
Mm-hmm.
But then it just has an image of two people that look naked, embraced in a hug.
That's an interesting way to put that. It
What?
is.
How would you put it?
I would say that it is a very grainy but still quite clear picture of two people having sex.
Oh, I assume. Oh, okay.
You thought they were really hugging? Young John, look at this picture.
No, I saw it. It's the beast with two backs.
It is the beast with two backs. They're doing the horizontal mambo.
Okay, well.
Oh, that's so gentle. You thought they were actually hugging?
I don't know. I mean, they could be
It's
hugging.
a little skin to skin.
This baby needs skin-to-skin contact. Wow. Well, they're having sex. And he says, when I say I need a hug, this is what I mean.
I see he says that, but then I also think he also just means hugs.
Yes,
That's what the lawsuit says.
This is part of the thing with Kanye. You never know what you're getting here, because I think he does want a hug, but also, and he really does just want a hug, but it's a sexual hug.
It's a gateway hug.
It's a gateway hug, and it's a hug to check if she's wearing panties, which is nasty as fuck, through her super leggings that he insists on her wearing. But then also
super pants.
But when also he says, "When I need a hug, this is what I mean." He's sending that picture. So there is another aspect to this.
Yeah, they frequently make reference to Kanye's, I'm going to say, addiction to what he calls honey.
Honey. So I texted with you about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I'm like, maybe, does he mean honey?
Like Klobuchar-style?
Yeah, that's what I'm picturing. Like, because Kanye, you know how he gets like,
He does think of himself as a teddy bear.
That's what I'm saying, right?
But I don't think he means honey. What he means is fake Viagra. That's real Viagra, but it's like off-label Viagra that they sell at smoke shops.
Why is Kanye?
I don't think he knows it's Viagra.
I don't think he does either. I think he thinks it's really honey.
Not real honey. I think he thinks that it's a drug called honey.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know that it's a drug that is also called Viagra.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. So, you sent me an article from 404 Media talking about some smoke shop that was busted for selling this.
Yeah, the FDA was like a couple years ago was like cracking down on all of that. I guess it's like illegal. I don't know. They get a bunch of Cialis or Viagra and like cut it up and put it in pills that they sell at liquor stores.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea about this, but I guess that's a big thing. And I guess that is it just that men think it's embarrassing to get Viagra? So it's like they don't want to get that because then they're admitting that there's an issue. And so if they can get it from a liquor store and it's also called like Tiger Super Crazy Max.
Yeah.
It's like better?
I don't know.
Or they feel like it's like their ego doesn't get bruised.
I was thinking about this too because I'm like, because you ever like they always have them like right at the front of smoke shops or like liquor stores or whatever, like the rhino pills. That's like I don't know what's in them. I've never taken one.
Apparently it's Viagra.
No, I don't know if there's Viagra in the rhino pills because the rhino pills are like still. I'd never heard of the honey before, but I'm like Kanye might just think it's like a mystical property to it. Like it's kind of impossible to figure out what he thinks about it, but I think he genuinely believes in the honey as the honey. Like I don't think he's not looking for Cialis.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I think that he can't handle.
Oh.
Like he would never be like, "Baby, go get me my Viagra." Like that would be admitting some
Bob
like
Dolly.
crazy.
Yeah.
Either that would make him like old, or it would make him impotent, and like he can't like. That's not what he can't deal with that like realization of himself. But also, I don't know if he's impotent. I think that someone just gave him this once and he liked the effect and now he like wants it, but hasn't made the connection that it's like, yeah, Viagra does that.
Yes, I think that what
Do you know
he,
what I'm saying?
yeah, no, I do. I know. I think that you're probably. This is almost certainly spot on, right? Like I think that because especially because he makes a lot of references to this in the lawsuit, or there's a lot of references to the honey in the lawsuit, and it appears that like from the context of him talking about it, that he thinks it increases his sexual prowess, which I'm not sure that Viagra does. I think it just makes you like have a boner.
Yeah,
I don't
for,
know if
like,
it makes your boner.
hours.
I know, but like I don't know if it like makes you like does it, I don't know if it prevents you from like terminating your boner sexually style.
But if it stays, if it's like for a super long time, then yeah.
Well, I looked this up. And there is like a kind of like holistic health thing there. Like holistic style people think that honey makes you last longer in sex. So like by like regular honey.
Ingesting it orally?
Eating it.
Eating like regular
Not
honey,
like-
like Klobuchar-style from the jar with your fingers.
Yeah. Not like Diddy baby oil style.
Not Diddy baby oil honey. No, not incorporate it into the sexual congress that you're engaging in, but in actually like having honey beforehand increases your sexual prowess. And by like prowess, I mean here is it makes you last longer. It's like it's there's like some
I think
word
then
for
that
it.
just goes into the branding of the illegal Viagra.
Exactly. So I think that Kanye is under the impression here that this is making him more of a stud.
Which
the
it
thing with-
literally is because it's a Viagra.
I don't know if Viagra makes you last longer in sex, but I'm like, I feel like even after you ejaculate, you still have like a really hard penis.
Which maybe he's confusing with the two.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. But he is just like calling Lauren, like, bring me the honey. I need the honey now. Like, I might just, at one point, he's like, I'm going to fly out to LA. Like, I want to see people, but I might just hole up and take some super honey and some tequila and fuck.
No, he says make appointments.
Take appointments.
I'll take
yeah.
appointments. That's how he refers to it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a really kind of crazy long story in here about this bizarre situation he puts her in on a private jet, where he has a bedroom that only locks on the outside because the lock's broken. Which it seems like she's like that is actually what the case was, but he's like really pressuring her to come in there, and when she finally does, he's like lying in bed and just jacking off. And then he just falls asleep while masturbating and talking to her. And she's just like, what the fuck is going on? I will say, like, I'm like, you really should quit this job. But he's just completely out of control. Like he, at one point, like, this is one of the more serious allegations in here too. He comes over to her hotel room to use the shower. Obviously, like the most bullshit pretense ever. And he takes a shower and he's like in a bathrobe and he's like, he's not wearing anything underneath it. And he like kind of puts his dick in her face, like reaching for something, like, and she's just like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing? And he's like doing this weird pleading, pressuring thing that like, by her account, she's like, she doesn't seem to have like engaged with it. I honestly, when I went into this, like, I was like, oh, this is somebody who was like sleeping with Kanye West, who like is probably had some pretty bad experiences in suing him. But like from the lawsuit, like she's like, no, I said no to all of his entreaties for sex. She also alleges that he trafficked women, which I was interested in because it's like, she's talking about how he like would bring in women in for Eastern Europe and Russia.
Yeah.
There's really light on details in the lawsuit. Like it alleges that he traffics them, but it doesn't say like where, like how or in what way or who they were, anything really about them. It just alleges that he trafficked women. And she also used it in another context when it's clear that she's talking about he flew a prostitute out from, I think, New York or something to LA, which it is like technically trafficking, but like I don't think it's like in the same way that people would use it colloquially. I think maybe legally it is. But it ends, and this is the addendum part. It ends on a pretty damning story, involving an incident that involving Lauren and an artist that she managed in the early 2010s named Nikki Heaton. And this is where
Diddy comes into the story.
Exactly. Yeah. And so Lauren is managing this. Have you heard of Nikki Heaton?
No.
I hadn't either. I looked it up, and she had a pretty big hit with a song called "Bad Intentions" featuring Migos in 2014. But she's like a very beautiful. She's young woman. I think 19 years old at the time. Lauren is managing her. It seems like they're really close friends. Nikki Heaton recently made a video about this, and like a 30-minute long video. Or I think it was a live that just got recorded anyway. I watched the video. She says that she and Lauren aren't really friends anymore, and they had a falling out like many years ago. But the story that she tells in her video is basically the same story, but from a different perspective that is told in this lawsuit here. So what happened was, this girl is blowing up. She has this big hit with Migos in 2014, and it is a pretty big hit. Kanye and Diddy hit Lauren up and are like, you guys should come to the studio. They get to the studio. Kanye and Diddy are in there. I think like one of their relatives is there. There's like a producer, and there's 9 of what Nikki calls studio hoes in there. Again, this is what she calls them. I think what we're kind of bringing to mind there is like kind of younger women in sexy clothes.
Yeah, that hang around this recording studio while band's recording.
Yeah,
I mean, I think everyone knows.
Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Groupies. People called them in the 70s.
Yeah. And there's like drinks there, and they're being served up. There's like a carafe is mentioned, and Lauren accepts a drink, and Nikki's telling like Lauren doesn't really drink ever, and she's very like reserved and not like outgoing, and she has like 2 sips of this drink, and is like weird wasted and like she's like it's pretty clear she's been roofied, like she's Diddy style, like she's on like Diddy style freak off drugs, like given to her. And so Lauren leaves to go to the bathroom. And I'm telling this sort of from Nikki's perspective here. Nikki is in there, and she says she's cornered by like the groupies leave, and Nikki is cornered by Diddy and Kanye, and they're like, "It's really hot in here. Like, take off your clothes. Take off your clothes." This is a 19-year-old girl. They tear her shirt off. She says,
"Yeah."
And she's like freaking out, like panicking, like, "What the fuck do I do? What the fuck do I do?"
I think the worst part is when she like describes that she like looks over to the other men in the room who are like, other musicians, executives, producers, whatever that are there, and that she makes eye contact with them, and then they just like avert their eyes, like the men just like turn and look away. That's like a very, I don't know, that image is kind of like set in my brain and is
specifically she looks at this like 50-year-old like record producer guy that's there. So like you kind of picture in your head like kind of like a avuncular, like a dad like figure there, and he just like looks at his phone and she's like, help, like she's saying that, and he just like is texting. Nikki runs away. She says that she like gets like a burst of inspiration and just like kind of moves towards Kanye and Diddy, like her back's against the wall. She just like goes towards them. It freaks them out, takes them off balance, and she leaves. And she goes into another room and like hides. She's like texting Lauren, no response. And then after like, I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes, she goes and gets Lauren, who is like so beyond wasted, like she can barely move, and takes her home. The implication is like, not the implication, well, like the sort of accusation / implication in a lot of this is that some kind of sexual assault happened. Some kind of sexual assault did happen to Nikki, she's saying. And then Nikki is saying like something bad happened to Lauren while I was gone. So like both of these women were left alone with Diddy and Kanye for some period of time, and something bad happened to both of them while the other one was gone.
Yeah.
Lauren doesn't seem to be aware of this. Like she's like, Lauren from both Nikki and Lauren's retelling is like, Lauren was like, I got really wasted somehow really quickly. Like I think I was drugged and like embarrassed myself because Nikki seemed really like she didn't want to talk about that night.
Yeah.
And Nikki Heaton left the music industry like pretty shortly after. I was looking at her, like, she talks about it in the video. I mean, again, I never heard of this lady. She talks about it in a video. She's like, I left the music industry. It was like too fucked up. She left it like a year or two later. Like, she was basically done.
Yeah.
And like now isn't in it at all. Like, she says she lives in, again, I don't know much about this lady. She lives in like the middle of nowhere, she says, and it's just like on a farm. But Lauren didn't know, like, pretty crucially, like, didn't know that something had happened there. And like just thought that she had done something weird. Like, she blamed herself that she had like embarrassed her client in front of these like big name guys.
Yeah.
But didn't know. And like Nikki was really traumatized from it. But like she's like, maybe I traumatized her by being so fucked up. I don't know. And the way that she kind of finds out about it is really kind of something else. Do you want to read from this?
Well, Kanye West, aka Ye, vented to plaintiff. He addressed a negative comment that defendant's former wife, name withheld, made about plaintiff. Plaintiff expressed to Kanye West that she would like to send a message to defendant's former wife to clear things up with correct information, as it appeared she was under the wrong impression about plaintiff. Kanye West, aka Ye, asked plaintiff what she wanted to say to defendant's former wife if he allowed her to. Plaintiff stated to Kanye West, aka Ye, that she would like to say to defendant's former wife regarding her comment about Kanye West and plaintiff being intimate during the time they were committed to each other that, quote, "This is untrue. I did not and would not disrespect Ye, you, or your marriage." In immediate response to plaintiff's desired message to, name withheld, Kanye West said, he and plaintiff did kind of hook up a little one time, and then immediately proceeded to reminisce about the time he was referring to, the night at the Santa Monica, California music studio where he, quote, hooked up with plaintiff after she had been drugged.
So that was the first time, like during this insane exchange where Kanye West is like, Kim Kardashian, because that's clearly who's being referenced here. Kim Kardashian like thinks we hooked up. What do you want to say to her?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, tell her like, you know, we haven't. I wouldn't do that to either of you, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, well, we did hook up. And like, that's how she finds out about it. And yeah, I mean, this is like the allegations are, in this part are like vague, kind of like specifically what happened because she doesn't remember. She was roofied.
Yeah.
You know? But what one gets is like, yeah, it looks like Diddy, like she says, I don't remember if she said it in the lawsuit or if Nikki says it in the video, but like, I think they were kind of under the impression that like a studio assistant like put some drugs in the carafe or whatever. And I think maybe
that's like what Diddy does.
Yeah, it's like it does seem like
did he do it?
Yeah,
did he do it?
Did he do it? Like it does seem, and not letting Kanye off the hook here. Like that's not what I'm saying, but like it does seem like this is probably like some weird fucking Diddy drug thing.
Yeah, Diddy done it.
And yeah, and so this is you know she's pretty directly like accusing like Diddy and Ye, although obviously the lawsuit's against Kanye West only, of sexually assaulting her while she was completely like gone from weird Diddy party drugs.
Well, I think to finally wrap up here, we do need to. There's just so many of the text messages that we didn't get a chance to kind of run through. And I feel like it would be wrong if we didn't kind of sign off here. You said that he was kind of going like Rupi Kaur mode.
I think that, so like, well, the honey really reminded me of that because of her famous book, Milk and Honey.
I love that you're looking at me.
Right?
I don't
honey?
know.
Well, it's got honey in the title. And his honey and then his text message style really reminded me of like, and then taking the screenshots out of the lawsuit and putting them on a white page. I'm like, oh, this looks like a Rupi Kaur Instagram
It does.
post.
It like actually does. So I think we should sign off with some of these here. I'll go first. If my girlfriend is gay, then money must be female. I need a girl for each one of my personalities. Rapper girl, designer girl, architect girl, fuck the world girl, save the world girl, play with my kids girl, business girl, porno girl, godly girl, foodie girl, workout girl, vegan girl, Wagyu girl, city girl, ranch girl, day one girl, brand new girl, massage girl, don't touch me girl, know the law girl, know how to illegally do things girl, political girl, cultural girl, sci-fi girl, comedy girl. That's it for now.
I know I said happy birthday too early, but happy birthday to a person who has taught me so much in such a concise amount of time. Your approach to life is very essential. I looked up to that. Thank you for always being there to listen. Thank you for your consistency. I love you.
I think you should take this one.
Okay,
That's our
so in
last
this one,
one.
the context for this one is that he's texting Lauren that he had sex with a famous woman, but that he thought of Lauren while he was reaching climax in that sexual experience. Definitely. Take a jet pussy. Buy a beach house pussy. We drank tequila, ate sushi, played music, shared ideas, trauma bonded, laid on the floor and stared at the ceiling. When I turned her over, I was feeling like I was at bat at the World Series. Like this is, and then it says, name withheld, A-list celebrity. This is a fucking banger. I've been wanting her for 12 years. 12 years and 2 months. I texted her 10 times a day for 2 months. We fucked for an hour. Honestly, I did think about you when I came, though. Those off-limit leggings with no panties and 7-second hugs, LOL.
On that note, I'm Liz.
My name is 7-second hug, Brace Belden. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry.
That's terrible.
If you work for Kanye West
Hit
and
the
you
tip
survive for more than hit the tip line.
Hit the tip line.
Hit the tip line.
What do you got to lose?
Those NDAs are fucking fake. By the way, for anyone thinking of hitting the tip line, NDAs are fucking fake.
Also, we're not revealing anything.
We're not revealing anything.
We won't play it if you don't want us to.
Yeah, or
we'll dramatically read it, or use AI voice in a funny way.
Mm-hmm. But if
we'll have Richard Nixon say it.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Anyways, my name is Brace Belden. We're of course joined by
Young Chomsky.
And this has been TrueAnon. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.